So I'm bringing on stage a great man called Dr. Kuria. Yes, Dr. Kuria is a herbalist and wellness coach. Dr. Kuria has been helping people around Kenya deal with complex health conditions through natural and organic plant-based products, that is, herbs. He is a natural wellness activist, and ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, the man I'm bringing on stage is above 80 years. I think he deserves a clap. Dr. Kuria continues to help people all over with the God-given knowledge as a herbalist. Once again, beautiful ladies and gentlemen, help me with a standing ovation to bring on stage on this Dr. Spice Encyclopedia Lounge none other than Dr. Kuria, herbalist and wellness coach. Yes, 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 please put them together. Daddy, please use this way. You clap until Daddy comes up. Yes, wow.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Good afternoon. Thank you. This is the second day I have attended Dr. Spice's invitation. And I say thank you, Dr. Spice, also correcting us from whatever one is. Now, I have, that time you were here, we discussed so many things which are very important to us. That is our life. And when I went to go back to the motherland, I came to realize that that book is liberating us from bad eating or bad habits of eating to where we started or the way we are brought up. Now, today, from the invitation, I understand we have an encyclopedia of herbs, plants, which are going to launch today. Now, may I request you people, I discuss a bit about herbs, because people really argue, and they argue that these herbs we are talking about, these plants which are growing in our netherlands, are they really healing people? That's a question in many people. Yes. To me, I say yes, because I know how they heal people. Because the plants we have, they are not there growing just like that. God has given them power to heal. And this power to heal is through phytochemicals which are in those plants. Let me request you, my audience, to go back, because I'm a herbalist, to the plant we know and we consume always, which is called the stinging nettle. Sawa. Si watu wanatumia hiyo hata boga. Do they know what they are eating? Do they know the dawas which are in this plant? I have come with some few dawas in that plant. And that's what I do when treating people. I don't treat people imaginary. I just follow the phytochemicals present in any plant I use to treat a certain disease. Let's come to stinging nettle. The plant is in the family of Urticaceae. It has more than 8 phytochemicals. How many? More than 8 phytochemicals. Minerals are more than 6 which are present in that plant. Let's come to vitamins. It has B's, D, E, and K, which helps people or which makes the blood protein if you have a cat. Now, let me go back to the photochemicals. One of the major photochemical or main in that stinging nettle is a compound called coumarin. C-O-U-M-A-R-I-N-S. Coumarin. That is a chemical, a photochemical, which is present in that plant. And this photochemical, the one gives the plant the power to treat cancers of the blood. So, if you are using that staining nettle, one time you will not have that we call leukemia. It is the cancer blood. Now, the same coumarin help in prostate cancer. The same coumarin helps people not to have clots in the body. So, if your blood is going to clot and you are using that one, the clot will be wiped away. I'll reach there for that one. Let me come to the second compound in this plant, the terpene. We have terpene. Terpene, this chemical in that stinging nettle is good for asthmatic people. That's why if you read well the literature of stinging nettle, you will find it is called antihistamine because of terpene. The terpene from plant is not a synthetic one, so it treats a variety of many diseases. Let's come, I have said asthma. You find the same terpene is good for arthritis. So, if you are taking stinging nettle, you are fighting arthritis if you have one. Now, the other thing treated by the terpene is bronchitis. So, when you are taking stinging nettle, you keep away from these respiratory problems like bronchitis, asthma, and others. Okay, let's go ahead. The terpenes are good in this plant. For those people who are living in the area of malaria, if they keep on consuming nettle, they cannot get malaria because it treats and fights malaria. Let's go on. The terpene in this is a diuretic compound. It helps your body to output your urine or to lay yourself in the toxins through urine. That's why you find the stinging nettle is said it is a good herb or it is a good plant for blood pressure. Because blood pressure, thinking in the family, you are living in the hospital, you are given diuretics so that you relieve your body of sodium chloride. Let's go ahead. From there, let's come to the terpene itself. It is, I'm talking of organic terpene. Now, the same organic terpene in the stinging nettle, you'll find it is good for cancer. That's why we include asthma and bronchitis. It is good for cancer. Another thing, it is good for colorectal cancer, that is colon cancer. Areas where this plant grows naturally and consumed by those people. It is very hard to hear a case of colon cancer. Let's try most of the time. Then we come to another cancer treated by this stinging nettle. We have ovarian cancer. See how it is best for that. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, kidney cancer, pancreatic cancer. Which is another big problem with people who are living a lifestyle, who are having a lifestyle living. Now, the same plant, you find it fights bacteria and fungal infections. To type in this natural type in I'm saying is even able to eradicate TB bacteria. Thank you then. Let's go ahead with this plant. The same plant has another phytochemical known as tannins. It has tannins. The tannins in this stinging nettle will help your body or accelerates blood clotting. If you cut the blood will clot very quickly. Okay? 2. The same tannin reduces blood pressure. That's why you hear that stinging nettle is good for blood pressure. The dawa which is in that plant, which helps in blood pressure, is tannin. Let's go ahead. Anti-diabetics, you have found if you consume stinging nettle and the diabetic, it will not be harsh to you, or it will not, those who are not having diabetes will not get diabetes if they are feeding on this plant. Let's go ahead. Wood healing, it helps in wood healing. Treating old sores, that's why it is called antihistamine. It is good for heart. Okay? The same hemorrhoid, the same tannins treat anal hemorrhoids. And hemorrhoids, they are treated by this plant because of tannins, which is present in that plant. The same tannin, it fights bacteria, fungal infections. Now, to that, I will add something else here. There are other plants, not only nettle, which are having tannins. I have mentioned a few, which are rich in tannin. Now, the first one is dandelion. Dandelion, it is video. Now, those which you will not be aware of knowing them, I have some specimen, I will show you my speech. Now, the other one, which is rich in that, is Conza cadanensis. Conza cadanensis. Kila ni ile inaitwa na watu mboga nake. Conza cadanensis, it is mboga nake, and in another pudding, another English, it is also horseweed. Okay? So, I have seen now the area of that plant. I have it here. Now, let's go ahead. Now, Conza cadanensis. There is another plant which is very rich with tannin. It is called Bohemia lutegrata. Bohemia lutegrata. It is called. Who was that talking about? Unasema unatoka huko. Ni mingi huko. I have a specimen of that there. I'll show you. Now, from there, we have acacias. Acacias are very many. Tannin is too much in those plants. That's why Dr. Spice has told us to go back through his book, go back to the motherland. Things are there. The best and the good things are there in our motherland. Now, from there, let me come to another chemical from these plants. I'm talking about stimulant. It has another unique and best plant for human beings, especially men and women. We have beta-cytostem. Beta-cytostem, it is a photochemical which is found in this plant in abundance. And this photochemical, it is important, it is good by treating an prostate, rheumatoid arthritis, treats fibroids, which are disturbing our members. It is treated by this beta-cytostem. From where? From steaming network. From there, it makes them to sleep. It reduces high cholesterol. Akina mama nasikia wakisema wanakuja kwangu, hey daktari, I want you to prepare me a very good herb to remove cholesterol from my blood and my down. What am I going to give that person? Singing. So, singing it is a very important herb. Let's go ahead. I'll tell you what else is contained there. The plants which are having this beta-cytostem in high quantity. Okay. Now the plants which are having this photochemical, not from stinging network, let's come to another one. Dandelion, the same I have mentioned, it is good, it has that cytostem. And that's why you find that those who are there who are not able to urinate because of age, we give them dandelion and they urinate quickly and in a very high tune because of this photocell. Another plant is Prunus africana. Prunus africana, it is all over known in the churches and all. They say Prunus africana is good for prostate. What? Enlargement. Why? Because it has that beta-cytostem. Nothing else. In that, we treat beta-cytostem only that. And the staining network is best even on that. Another plant which has this photochemical is a plant which was now, and you know, we said that this beta-cytostem is good for us. When we were here, there was a man who mentioned this plant I'm going to mention here. And he said, it is very good for fibroids. And I said, thank you, because she was very much right. Now, the plant is Biggest pyrosa. Biggest pyrosa. The plant is Biggest pyrosa. Muchile. Biggest pyrosa or state natural. Mineria brownie has a lot of beta-cytostem and high concentration is found in leaves. That's why those who are having problem with urinating, we give them leaves and bags of Terminaria brownie. Thank you. There. Let's go ahead. Niendelee.
Okay, let's go ahead. We were in beta-cytosterol. Now we come to another compound in that plant. We call it alkaloids. Now we are with the alkaloids. Alkaloids are the phytochemicals in plants which give the plant bitter taste. Bitter taste. So if you take a plant and you find it is bitter, know that it has alkaloid. Now alkaloids which are in that stinging nettle, there are some which are bitter and some are not bitter. And they are alkaloids. Now, in that stinging nettle, you find alkaloids treat malaria, treat diabetes, bacterial infection, they are antihypertensive, they are good for blood pressure, parasitic diseases, okay? That is worms. So, if a plant is bitter and you feel your stomach is not doing well, you take that herb and you take that stinging nettle, your stomach will be okay. Thank you. Now, let's go ahead with the stinging nettle. Now we have finished with phytochemicals. Now we have come to minerals. Result in stinging nettle. First mineral in stinging nettle is zinc. Zinc, it is very important in wound healings. Wale wako na vidonda kumba, keep on taking stinging nettle, hiyo kidonda itapoa. Itamalizika haraka sana. Now from there we come to another mineral in stinging nettle. Selenium. We have selenium. Selenium in stinging nettle, one who boosts immunity, your body immunity. And again, it's the one which gives stinging nettle power to boost your low libido. Low libido. Whoever, man, woman. Okay? So, when people are saying, hey, low libido, what? Stinging nettle is there. In the spice shop, it is there. Go and collect it in abundance. Go and keep it at yours. Be consuming. Now, it promotes fertility in adults and reduce high cholesterol. Unasikia hata hiyo kwenda kuondoa cholesterol katika mwili ya mtu. Tuje another mineral, potassium. We have potassium in that plant. We have potassium in stinging nettle. Potassium stimulates kidneys to produce more urine and increase urine output, decreasing risks of having stroke. So, if you want to live without stroke and if you know the dangers of stroke, keep on staying in nettle. You will not have that stroke, which is clipping people, which is doing all this to people. So, consume that because it has high potassium. Help in weight loss. Sorry, those who are saying weight loss, yes, this stinging nettle, because of potassium, it will reduce your weight. It detoxify the blood or detoxify your body, remove water and retention and edema, that is leg swellings. If you keep on stinging nettle, you cannot have this swelling because water retention in the body is flushed out by the potassium, which is in that plant. Let's go ahead. Now, the same potassium remove kidney and bladder stones. Munasikia watu wanaambiwa your figo ina fail, your bladder ina fail. If you take stinging nettle, your bladder will not fail anytime because it keeps on throwing away uric acid, oxalates, and all these salts and all this in your body. So there will be no time your kidneys or bladder will keep those stones. Okay? Now, the other plants sources of high potassium are, tulikuwa na dandelion mudhunga, tuko na Biden pilosa ile musege, tuko na Conza cadanensis, it is there, and the potassium concentration, it is found high in leaves of stinging nettle and the other plants which I have mentioned. Let's come to another for stinging nettle. Let's come to manganese. Let's come to manganese. We are remaining just only two. I terminate the speech. Remaining two only. Let's discuss this and then you go to the other two. We do away with this. Now manganese. Manganese, it is there. Yes, I know. All of us here, we know manganese. Kuna mtu hanja ingia laboratory hapa nikiangalia hivi and the ages now must have done chemistry. Manganese Mn. Okay. This regulates blood sugar. Ukisikia hii mtu iko na manganese mingi, unjue mtu wa blood sugar pea yeye gani? Hiyo itaangusha hiyo sukari. Okay? Now, for diabetic patients, decreases risk of having stroke. Even that one decreases chances of having stroke. Decrease muscle sprain. All right? Kuko muscle sprain. Yeah, kukasa nyama nasikia siwezi kuendelea nasikia. Okay? This stinging nettle will help you. Now, treat osteoporosis, another disease which is disturbing people this time. Osteoporosis, it's the disease of bone weakening. Bones get weak. Bones get weak. Ukiteresa kidogo inafunjika. Ukikaa vibaya haiwezi rudi. Ukifanya nini inafunjika. Ukiguzwa na mtu na munai bone inafunjika. Osteoporosis. That stinging nettle will help you to strengthen your bones and make you be away from that disturbance. Wood healing, stinging nettle, manganese, arthritis, and another disease. So I come across always, I'm a herbalist, dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea, sio mnaijua kina mama? Yes, if you are taking pain during menstruation, if you are taking stinging nettle, you cannot have that one, and it will be cured. Let's go ahead. Nimesema osteoporosis, diabetes, dysmenorrhea, rheumatoid arthritis, all these. Other plants which are the source of this are one, Pisidium guava leaves. Unajua guava? Ile tunaita nini? Na Kikuyu. Tunaita mupera. I have them there. I will show you. That one is good. It has a lot of manganese. Dandelion the same. You have seen that plant we are calling it dandelion, and it is a weed in our motherland. It's a weed, but very, very good. And it's not poisonous. And that one we are calling stinging nettle. Do you hear the stinging nettle we talk about? It is a wonder plant. Let's go ahead. Now, guava, dandelion leaves, Cosa cadenensis. Ile tulisema murunganake. Let's come to the other photo or mineral, iron. Ukiangalia stinging nettle, it has a lot of iron. It will boost your iron in your body. And your body will keep on preparing red cells because of stinging nettle. Those who are anemic, those who are unaambiwa kwenda kula mboga. Akina mama wale wanapewa watoto, kila wanaume wale wanafuata accidents nini, you are told go and eat mboga. The best mboga is stinging nettle because it has a lot of iron. Okay? Now, it boosts red cells formation. That's all. That iron is dealing with the blood formation, whatever, low pH of the blood, hemoglobin, and all these. Najua kuko wengine wako na hemoglobin iko chini. Ile tunaita pH. Now, ndio italete hiyo kitu. Let's come to the last one and the last mineral, magnesium. In the stinging nettle. Si tunakaa kwa stinging nettle. Always in the stinging nettle and other plants. Now, you find magnesium treats stomach problems. That's why who have ever had a salt called salt of magnesia. Samani kulikuwa na dawa kama hiyo. Salt of magnesia. Magnesia is magnesium. Ndio inatengeneza acto. Ndio nasikia acto inaitwa magnesium tricyclate. Magnesium what? Tricyclate. Because of magnesium. So, magnesium deals with it is an antacid to clear heartburn and other stomach indigestion and constipation. That is the end of my speech. Mumeipenda? Okay, thank you. Nimwambia mimi naitwa Stephen Kuria, who has been registered in the Ministry of Culture and Social Services in the area of herbal medicine and traditional practice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Spice, for inviting us. Because why I have said thank you, we are always absorbed in treating people. Nowhere to tell someone, come, doctor, I have amoebiasis, mimi nilipimwa nikaonekana niko na mimba. Okay, ngoja hapo nikutengeneze ndawa. Natengeneza ndawa. Hakuna mambo ya kusomesa. But this occasion, this invitation, help us to discuss things. All right? Thank you very much. That's what I do. I don't treat people without following the photochemical minerals and treatments which are in that. I said I will show you what I have sent. Give me that bag, ma'am. I was a teacher. That's why you find I have I have come with specimen to help me teach what I want. Yes. Yeah. nimeweka mbali. Okay. Mulisikia nikisema Conza cadanensis. Si ndio? Nimesema murunganake ndiye huyu. Conza cadanensis ndiye huyu. Munaiona kwa mashamba. Hata ukipita unaiona. This one is the one which is called Conza cadanensis. Why? Because it is consumed very much in Canada. That's why it has been given Canadensis. Thank you. Here, I have mentioned another plant in tanning. I said Bohenia. Bohenia is this one. This is Bohenia. Bohenia is this plant. Researchers call it camel hoof plant. This one. I have mentioned the dandelion, Mudunga. I have it here. Now there is another plant I mentioned. This I called Biden pilosa. Biden pilosa, it is this one, Muchile. There was time I have mentioned what we call acacias. Acacias, madam kwen mingi, ndio hii, because of tanning. I have mentioned another plant. Hii ni acacia. Iko na mimba. I have mentioned mpela, guava. It is this one. Okay? This one, where we came to, remember? Yes. That's all. There is another plant I didn't mention here, which is in line with the stinging nettle, a very good plant, which we call rosemary. Rosemary. If you take rosemary, it is even good because it has comelain, it has terpene, and it's good for asthma and those respiratory diseases. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your welcome, thank you for your listening, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Wow. Be blessed.
Wow. Please, a big clap. Oh my God. Honestly speaking, I'm stuck at stinging nettles. They promote libido. Hey, guys. What? I think ninaona na mdomo na ninasikia na masikio. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Hii unaweza hata tuachia, ni utajiri kabisa. Thank you so much. Give Dad a clap. Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare with questions. I know you got questions, right? Mko na maswali? Please prepare with the questions, because after our third speaker, we are going to have a break of questions and answers. Our speakers are here. They are going to respond. Then we are going to come to the next phase of the next set of speakers. Hamjasikia bado. I will tell your neighbor, if that is just the beginning, what is this, the middle and the end? You better stay here until your registration fee gets to an end. All right. So the next speaker I'm going to bring on ground. Kwanza hizo majina nimesikia zinatajwa hapo. Hey, msijume ulimi. Wewe tu jua ni Muruganake, Muchile. Tuende tukisonga hizi vitu. Thafai. Wacha nisiongee because I don't want to take the time of the speakers. I'm not one. The next person I'm bringing on stage is such an asset in our social media, even all our social media platforms, as much as even all our keynote speakers have their social media handles, and I think they are supposed also to keep sharing so that we can also see what they do out there. He's such an asset out there, but he's such a low profile person. I tried to press him to give him the greatest honor he deserved, but he told me, just keep it low. And I want to bring on board and on stage Dr. Lewis Muchile Obude. And before he comes, yes, please, before he comes, it's good to make you know that I will not go without mentioning that he's the founder and the CEO of Health and Wellness Sport, founded in the year 2022. And the last thing I can say is that he's a clinical pharmacist. Ladies and gentlemen, with honor and a standing ovation, please help me to bring on stage none other than this handsome Dr. Lewis Muchile Obude. A big clap, a big one. Thank you, sir. We are honored to have you on board. Thank you so much. Yes, please capture that photo. But I'm married, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Hey, tunasemanga breakfast comes in at midday. So I think it's time for breakfast. So hizi energy imeenda chini kidogo, sio? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Lewis Muchile Obunde. I also double up as Uncle Chile. And for those of you who don't know Uncle Chile, that is a gentleman that was born from the health and wellness sport, where we identified what you just said, that we cannot heal the physical without approaching it with the spiritual aspect of it. So I'm not so good at making speeches, and if you've ever attended my shows, you know how we do it there on health and wellness sport. So yeah, I think, Mzee, we should have ended this conversation with you. To be honest with you, you should take your flowers, because how I wish you go back to 40. You look, of course, you look 50 and so, but how I wish that me at 80 would actually be you. Because it's so tremendous that you still have that bright memory, you still articulate things so well, and you've even documented a lot of these things. Those are things we don't do. And I was talking to Dr. Spice the other day, and I was telling him, if it is not documented, it did not happen. Right? And that's what we do mostly in government. So I'm privileged to be a clinical pharmacist working with a level 4 hospital in Marsabit. It's called Sololo. And of course, my job is to ease pain and suffering from God's people's lives. Now, I'm a different type of pharmacist. Why? Because one, I had two options when I was joining medical school or a pharmacy school, because that's my first background in education. So one was, I get that degree, and then I open a chain of pharmacies, and then I exploit you people. And I become rich, and wherever I go, I'm called Dr. Lewis, who owns such a pharmacy, and all that. Option number two was, I choose the truth. Why am I saying to choose the truth? Is because the other side, there's so much lies. And possibly that's why I feel privileged, because I've been tasked with the role of talking about modern health and health literacy in this modern generation where so much information is coming in and you don't even know how to filter it. I know most of you have heard, avoid wheat, avoid seed oils, avoid sugar. Then you're wondering, but even my grandfather was taking these sugars. Even though he was whipped to actually get addicted to sugar, he was taking it. My own father, who is now 78, was unfortunate to get an enlarged prostate. And when I was telling him, before he got that diagnosis, I was telling him, you know what, you have been diabetic for 12 years. And of course, your son has been serving you faithfully with medication for diabetes and hypertension, with the hope that you can actually get better, because that's what I went to school for. But for 12 years, you've gotten worse. There was an episode that I would see him kneeling in his own centers, where my mother was aside, because, you know, I'm a lawyer man. So from those sides, you don't cry in front of a woman. But when in your own spaces, you actually cry. Okay? So my dad we never had that good relationship, but it's naongea, we were like, hello Davis, kunaendeleaje? That's it. So I thought my dad hated me, because I can talk to my mother for 3 hours on phone, but now I'm talking to this gentleman, only takes 3 minutes. By the way, how much time do I have so that I don't overspeak? Okay. Thank you. So I thought he hated me, and I developed some form of resentment towards him. So going to a pharmacy school was actually going to liberate me, because once I make my own money, I don't need him. Yeah, I'll send him something at the end of the month, excite him, get some validation, and after that, what next? I feel good. So I was chasing the thrill of feeling good, because I take care of my parents. Most of you do that. Now realize this, your parents don't need your money. They survived without you. They need you there. That's how Uncle Chile was born. Because then, that's a different conversation that I will not want to go into right now, but again, it makes sense. So from that, I had to get my own identity, and that's why I teach people how to actually overcome anger and false identities. So I go to that level, and once the same person that I thought I loved so much was my worst fear. Somebody challenged me because I overreacted. I was working in Mombasa under the cancer center, and I was asking a lot of questions about cancer therapy. So I understand from a background of pharmacy that most chemotherapeutic agents can expose you to cancer. Possibly one of the reasons why we cover ourselves so much when we are preparing that chemo. But then this chemo is supposed to go into your blood vessel. I'm like, why am mbona najificha sana hii dawa? Lakini ule jamaa pale anaingoja. They are waiting to actually get it into their bloodstream. And the moment they get that into their bloodstream, actually, we go to a place where we would inject them with a drug called ondansetron. Ondansetron is a drug that protects you from vomiting. So we would protect you from vomiting before we even give you your medication. Okay? That was amusing to me. I was like, So yes, I was privileged to work under this cancer center. And of course, I witnessed people getting saved. Right? People getting well and they disappear. But again, 4 or 5 months down the line, somebody comes back with severe bone marrow suppression. And of course, they are not admitted under the cancer center. They are admitted in the main hospital. So when they pass on, what do we record as cause of death? Severe anemia. But I have the history. Right? I have the history, I know. See, this person was under the cancer center, and these are possibly the side effects of cancer therapy. So then what next? So it was a difficult conversation, because when I tried to ask questions, I was told, Kijana, you are a very young doctor, and I know you are aggressive. But some of this aggression will not be, haitakuwa mzuri. At that moment in time, I thought, sasa sinirudi tu open pharmacy. Na niuze hizi chemotherapeutic agents. But yeah, so from there, I started getting the awakening, because I'm wondering, I want answers to questions, but I'm not getting these answers. The one who is supposed to give me at least some hope is telling me, nikuje tu nifanye kazi niende nyumbani. So in my small head, I'm thinking, what if my dad gets cancer? I'm supposed to still come here and just do these things and go home. I'm dispensing these injections to people who actually matter. They're actually the reasons why healthcare institutions exist. But I'm not doing justice. So then I went deeper into it. Of course, I quit my job at some point. And I went into selling clothes at Imenti House. And also selling alcohol. So nikaanza kuuza pombe nikikunywa. That time I was 106 kgs. I was big. That doctor that you know, with a kaput belly. And so I would sell a lie all through, because I wanted my license to be protected. But was it? Because I wasn't satisfied. Every time I would go home, I'm just wondering, what am I doing in this institution? Because when I got into this school, I got in with the idea of changing people's lives for the better. But now I'm here causing them more problems. So maybe even my dad suffering for those 12 years because of what I'm doing right now. All right? So our healing journey started from there. It started with me. I lost massive weight. And when I was losing that massive weight, the first person who came after me was my mother. Wewe sasa umepata kazi mzuri, Mungu anakupenda, lakini sasa unaona. Why? Because I came from 102 kgs all the way to 68 within a gap of 5 months. So because I was still in Mombasa that time, she thought maybe Fatuma amefanya ile kitu. So she tells me, hii hatuwezi elewana. But that's how it started. And then I decided,
let me change my dad's life in terms of diabetes and hypertension. And that's where awakening came in. Of course, I had gone through different trainings in terms of complementary medicine and alternative healthcare.
And possibly that's where my answers came in. And I'm so grateful that at this moment in time, I don't teach people how to reverse chronic conditions. I simply shine light upon their paths, and if they deem fit, they follow their eyes. So I'm blessed to be here. And of course, the same path that I've gone in terms of thinking of the truth and thinking of actually exploiting you is the same path that most of our parents and most of us are going through. You're torn in between. One, thinking that, you know, should I go back to nature and get better? Or should I continue with the pharmacy? And then, of course, the medical fraternity is very good at selling you the fear through guidelines. So the guidelines for this, clinical guidelines for this. Same guidelines, the difference is the year. So the same way we treated diabetes in 1981 is the same way we're doing it now. But again, science is evolving. So the medical syllabus is not evolving. Is it not part of science? Now that begs a question. Therefore, this is very important. And Dr. Spice, I'm so grateful that you deemed it fit that I should be here. This is actually one of the things that I think it's actually the first of a kind, because normally I don't do interviews. I don't, because I know the agenda. I don't go for these functions because all of them have an intention. Because I would have actually walked in and the first thing I noticed is a placard of Bilko. Sponsored by. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, I had a chance to attend a regional meeting that was sponsored by the Ministry of the WHO, and they wanted to incorporate herbal preparations and medicines into conventional therapy. That was amazing in the beginning, right? And then I got there, and what I saw was a placard for Glenmark, the pharmaceutical company. And then in my head, of course, I had my doubt, because where the WHO is, I'm always doubtful. But when I got in, then I saw that, I was like, I'm going, it's just another story of Padiems here. I'm going to waste so much time here just listening to these things and getting the same things. So either way, I want to help you understand a lot of things in terms of the legal aspect of this stuff. And I'm so glad that your team is so organized. I've seen there's a medical department, I've seen there's a store department, there's also a research department, which is very important. And I think we should applaud you for actually what you're doing so far. It's interesting to see such an organization having such structures. And of course, I've been following you over, and I know this is not just for this show. And even if this for this show, these are amazing things you've done, bro. And we commend you for that. That medical encyclopedia is going to become a huge star. Alright? So, the conversation today I'm told to talk about the modern healing and health literacy in this current informational age that everybody's getting confused. And part of the problem is that how do we then get to trust institutions that are tasked with the role of actually protecting us? One being Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and number two being the Kenya Bureau of Standards, number three being the National Laboratory Quality Control Laboratories, which definitely are sleeping on their jobs. I'm saying that because there was a scandal for mercury in sugar. There was another scandal for vegetable oils. So it comes in, and once it's on the media, they give so much attention kwa sababu limefunzwa kwenu na wengine wenye hulka kama zetu, sio? And then once it's out as the media, the story is gone. Nobody cares, and we consume that sugar. So is it about an exchange of a brown envelope? Pharmacy and Poisons Board. I was lucky to work with Peter Healthcare back in 2016, and there's something called a dossier. A dossier is when you're preparing medication, before you release one batch into the market, you prepare a very huge file that has quality control staff and all these issues, the testings for these medications, the quality assurance, and then you put them in one file. You take that file to Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Then you find a guy there, seated there looking at you, who is this? Oh, you're from Peter Healthcare. Yes, okay. Can you look it? And so where is your dossier? You provide that envelope, that file. And then he says, where can you find pale? Oh, daktari, so fanya. So kama ule hiyo brown envelope, hiyo batch na wanaweka kwa public notice. Wanasema we revoke this, it should be recalled. And then they follow up and put it on media and all that. And then after that, once the brown envelope is actually brought in, everything goes back to normal, and we continue taking those medications. Zincos now also. So I think this is the best option. One, going back to motherland. This is a very interesting book, but the most important one has to be that encyclopedia. And of course, there are more to come, and we hope that God reveals things to him and his team to keep doing this. Now, listen to this. I'm not so biblical, but I'll try to quote some few verses here and there. My dad is an archbishop, so I think I understand spirituality is not transmitted genetically, but I'll try to do this thing. So Jeremiah 17:9 is a very good reminder. How many of you are spiritual or religious? Spiritual. Oh, spiritual, right? Amazing. So Jeremiah 17:9 reminds most Christians that our heart is very deceitful above all things. That your heart is a liar. So most people are liars. And until you get to align spiritually, you will constantly lie. And this is not an exemption of our regulatory bodies. Not an exemption. We have not forgotten, but we forget easily. We have not forgotten COVID. A disease that made us take those vaccines and booster shots. And then apparently WHO has never come out to apologize for those issues with the heart that happened with those vaccines, right? Nobody has ever come. We just move on from one lie to another. Right now we have another lie. And everybody has forgotten COVID. Alright? So it reminds us that all of us are deceitful from the heart, and institutions are made of people. And whenever people operate ambitions, politics, and financial interests, when they exist, the lie becomes even more bigger. And in modern healing, and where we have so much information coming in, so much social media, TikTok is very, very big in terms of marketing, and of course all of us are teaching you about something, how to lose weight, how to eat clean, how to fast with hormones, all these things that gets us confused. Today we're reading this book, the next day we're reading another book. It's getting difficult for you to see or to filter out this information. But modern medicine has achieved a very, very huge part in terms of the breakthroughs in antibiotics, surgeries, and all these emergency therapies that actually come in to save life. Another bigger part is the HIV one, that I always have my own questions about HIV and the therapy around it, because I don't understand how we can manage to bring down the viral load, but we cannot clear the virus. How did we bring it down? I'm a new again, I really get to then now apparently, boom, 2026 HIV is no longer a killer disease. We have even a vaccine that you can actually take and protect yourself. But we can't destroy the vaccine. Amazing and interesting, right? So yes, of course it's aiming to save more people, and Africans benefited from that. But I also believe that conventional therapy and hospitals and healthcare are there to only handle emergencies. So if you go to a hospital with a hope that is going to, your health is in a hospital, you're lying to yourself. Your health is in your farm and in your kitchen. Is that simple? Okay? So if you pay attention to that, I don't think you need to see any hospital case. But of course there's ignorance. Most people are ignorant. Most people want to fix symptoms. When you have a migraine, you just want that migraine to disappear. You don't want to care where it came from. And that's how we exploit you. Because of course you come to me with desperation, and once there's a desperation, I normally give a very good example of an enlarged heart. We call it left ventricular hypertrophy. Wewe ukaambiwa na daktari roho yako imefura, uko na roho kubwa imevimba, how do you feel? Si unaona kifo tu ndio hapo. There's death coming. Like imagine have a big heart, it's enlarged. And then they put a medical term there, left ventricular hypertrophy, so that you get scared. And now once you're scared, I have control. So then I start treating that enlarged heart. I give you I have some stinging nettle here and there. I give you those furosemide injections. But I'm focusing on the heart. But what caused the heart to enlarge is the narrowing of blood vessels. Magnesium is a good mineral to dilate blood vessels. But we will not give you that. We will prefer giving you medications for the heart muscle, which is not failing, it's adapting. Go get a gym to beba biceps. Biceps swell. Are they sick? They are adapting to this pressure you're bringing in. So now, why would I start treating a swelling bicep? Si nikwambie tu wache kubeba mawe kwa gym. So wewe endelea kula kitu unakula, mimi niko na solution. Si utameza dawa tu, na hii dawa ni ya milele. Kwa sababu ukikosa kumeza. And then you people, you know your medications, but you don't even know the disease you're treating. Mimi niko na sukari. Okay, hiyo sukari ni nini? Natumia tu metformin, natumia insulin. Hiyo sukari ni nini? Niliambiwa sukari kwa damu. Sawa. Tumemeza metformin, tumepunguza sukari ya damu. Hii swali tumeipeleka wapi? Tumetoa kwa mwili.
Literally. So I'll take 5 questions. 5 questions to any of the speakers that have spoken. So by the raise of hands, first it's a first come first taken. Do we have questions? Ama mjakuwa mkisikiza? Any question? This end? Mmelewa kila kitu surely? Thank you so much for understanding everything. This side, any question? Thank you. 3 hands. Priscilla. Let's start with Priscilla. She was first. Alafu ukisema, you can introduce yourself. Then unasema, unauliza nani, if it's a specific person, kama ni Dr. Kuria, kama ni Lewis, kama ni Tabitha. You can say from which speaker.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Naitwa Priscilla Waimani. Na nimekuja kama nimechelewa lakini
kuja Priscilla, wakuone. Kuja, karibu.
Priscilla Waimani, niko ndani ya Dr. Spice. Na kama kawaida wanasema kazi ni kazi, hata kupiga binja pia ni kazi. Twende kazi. Back to the motherland. Niko na duka hapa chini. Mimi tunafanya kazi kwa hii building tukiwa na Dr. Spice. Na nimekuwa nikifeel kuingia kwa seminar mingi sana hapa. Leo nikasema lazima nitakuja. Na nimefika saa 9:30 asubuhi. Nikiwa nimetoka Laikipia. Sasa mimi niseme hii siku kama kuna mtu ata benefit sana ni mimi na pia wewe. Sasa swali yangu ni hii, nimepata mzee akiwa anaongea, sikumbuki jina yako.
Anaitwa Dr. Kuria.
Dr. Kuria. So nataka kuongea nataka kuuliza swali kuhusiana na fibroids. Na nikiuliza maswali wa wale watu ambao hawajafanikiwa kufika na viungo zingine kwa hizi miaka ambazo mnaniona nazo. I'm 48 years old. Mimi sina uterus. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu nilitolewa fibroids. Kwa mawazo yangu nimekuwa nikijiuliza, ni nani huyo mwenye atanisaidia? Tusemezane na yeye aniambie. Kwa sababu mimi Priscilla sijafanikiwa kufika na uterus yangu katika hizi miaka 48. Hawa young mothers tutawafanya aje? Kwa sababu wako na kilio, na hii kilio utaipata wamama wanaulizana kwa mtandao, kiini cha fibroids ni nini? Suluhisho ya hizi vitu ni nini? Alafu wakati umepata zile fibroids, ukipata uvimbe yoyote kwa mwili yako ama ukipata uvimbe yoyote kwa mwili yako, huanga unahofia huenda ikakuwa ni kansa. Sasa mimi swali yangu kwako daktari ni, hapa nimeona tuko na suluhisho ya vitu mingi. Kunazo vitu ambazo nimesaidika nazo kwa Dr. Spice mingi sana. In fact, kwa sababu mimi si yule mtu wa kukunywa chai, huanga natumia cayenne pepper na hibiscus kutoka kwa Dr. Spice. Swali yangu ni, tutafanya hawa young mothers ambao wameathirika sana na fibroids, muko na suluhisho ambapo hawa mama hawataenda kutolewa uterus kama Priscilla Waimani? Haya, after nimetolewa uterus, the following year nikapata uvimbe ingine kwa matiti, ambapo hiyo uvimbe ilinifanya karibu nisimama moyo. Kwa sababu hiyo uvimbe daktari aliniambia inaitwa fibroadenoma. So sasa hapo ni tumetoka kwa uterus, tumeng'oa. Sasa hapa tumekimbia kwa matiti, Priscilla akona uvimbe ingine. Familia mzima akili zao zinagonga wapi? Kansa. Marafiki wangu wote akili zao zinaenda wapi? Kumbe hata si kansa. So mimi swali yangu nataka daktari uniambie. Kitu ya kwanza nimesikia umetaja fibroids ni hizo zenye zilifanya Priscilla akang'olewa uterus. Then hizi zingine ni uvimbe ambayo saa hii ni common sana. Ukiingia kwa mtandao uulize watu ni watu wangapi saa hii wanafeel wako na uvimbe, watainua mikono wengi sana. Na hao watu hawako hospitalini, wamekatalia manyumbani wakiwa wanahofia isiwe ni kansa. Kwa hivyo swali yangu ni hiyo. Asanteni sana, nimefurahia kuona watu wengi. Wairimu Mukuru, my sister ni Doka Lege. My sister ni Doka Lege. Mungu awabariki daktari. Kwa hayo machache, asanteni sana. Mimi niko na duka hapa inajulikana kama Imani's Haven na uzanga households, na kama unaniheshimu tafadhali usijaribu kutoka kwa hiyo mlango kama hujaingia kwa shop yangu, sawa? Either upigwe picha ama unisalimie, nitashukuru sana. Kitu kingine ningetaka kusema ya kwamba hii building inajulikana kama Moravian Mall, na tuko na spaces mingi sana ambazo tunakopesha ambazo tunakodisha. Na kama uko hapa ungetaka kuweka biashara, unatafuta nafasi kubwa ama ndogo, karibu sana Moravian Mall. Kitu kingine nikitamatisha niseme Dr. Spice kijana mdogo. Dr. Spice kijana mdogo, congratulations daktari. Asante sana kwa kuja kwa hii building. Asante sana kwa jirani yangu. Wewe ni wa baraka kwa maisha yangu na pia kwa jamii. Mungu awabariki.
He has a good question about what can the younger generation to do to retain their uterus, not to go the way she went just because of fibroids. And Dr. Kuria will answer that shortly. The lady next to you, kindly hand her the mic. Alafu, give me a mic so that the guest can be having them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Julia. I'm very happy to be here. I was invited by Martha Jenga. I work with her very closely. I work with farmers. Nafanya kazi na wakulima huko Nakuru, lakini tunafanya within the country. Na tumekuwa among the people ambao tuna kazi yetu nafanya na shirika la Seed Savers Network, na kazi yetu hasa ni kuhifadhi chakula chetu cha kiasili, na tumekuwa na sheria kadhaa ambazo kidogo tukataza tukue na hiyo uhuru. Na siku ya leo pia najua kuna Witchcraft Act of 1925 ambayo ina criminalize herbalists. My question is, what are we doing as a collective around advocating against that? Because personally I'm very passionate in this space. Nafuata kazi zenyu ambazo mnafanya pale social media, educating people. I'm also part of you. I am also in this space. From my family, there is issues of diabetes, so I'm also in the forefront to see the solution. So my question is on the legal part and law. What are we doing as a collective, and what can we do? What can we do to be able to ensure that moving forward, our communities are healing naturally? And congratulations, Dr. Spice, and everyone in this room. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if I give you time to ask a question, kindly be brief, just go straight to the question so that we can have the answers right away. Thank you so much. There was a lady. That's the third question. Two more.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is to Dr. Kuria. How are we supposed to prepare the stinging nettle? Are we supposed to boil, to fry, to bake, to chew just like that? That is what I want to know.
Thank you, Dr. Kuria. Akikuja nitamkumbusha. I see all the questions ni kama nimedirectiwa to Dr. Kuria, but there is that one about Witchcraft Act, which any one of us can answer, but I would love anyone mwenye ameongea ndo atajibu. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mary.
I'm not a lawyer, but I have legal knowledge. There are a lot of laws in Kenya. There are bills that have been passed. There are acts of parliament that are... When I come to speak in the afternoon, I'll get into it. What do we do when we have an act of parliament? And most acts of parliament are actually unconstitutional. So our constitution is the blueprint of the Kenyan law, or is the Kenyan spirit. In the first statement in the constitution, it says the people are sovereign. The people are sovereign. So actually we have sovereignty even over the acts of parliament. So if we identify there is a law that is going in the opposite direction as per the constitution, you can go to court even as an individual and sue to repeal that act of parliament. I didn't know that we have an act. I'm actually going to look at it. So you can even share it in soft copy. Then we look. You say it's an act of 1925 where they classified Herbalist as witchcraft. Mzungu tuachana ni mzungu. So share with us the soft copy. What we do, we'll actually just look for pro bono lawyers. We just look for lawyers who will go to court pro bono. They won't charge. Then they will go to court to repeal that law. Because I am 100% sure that law is unconstitutional. Because we in the constitution, we have the freedom to practice our culture. We have the freedom to be who we are. And if witchcraft is our culture, we will practice it. You know? Yes, if witchcraft is actually part of the Meru culture, I have the freedom of practicing witchcraft. So we protect, I've told you the most important book everyone should have, I forgot to carry mine, is the Constitution. It's the blueprint of our law. Again, share the soft copy. Then we will reach out to lawyers. Then we can go to court and repeal that particular act of parliament. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary Kathomi. And need I say that we are not practicing witchcraft, or are we? Well, I'm not criminalizing witchcraft because I know it's part of the African culture, but what herbalists do is different from witchcraft, right? Wairimu Mukuru, nisaidie ku clarify. I know your time is not yet. Yeah. Herbalism and witchcraft.
All right.
Kuna difference?
So guys, hi everyone. Vayo. So basically, when you do something that benefits yourself or while benefiting yourself, you're destroying somebody else, that is witchcraft. But when you do something that is healing people and it's healing yourself, that is healing, okay? That is the difference between Oro, whereby you have the healers who would help people spiritually through the herbs, and then you have now the witch doctors who would ruin people's lives. And that in itself destroys that person's life, okay? So when there was Zungu's, that 1925 law, when they were putting it, it's because they didn't want us to heal ourselves. And you can see the problem that that has caused. Because we are dying. When I love these events because they literally, they are showing that we are awakening and we are learning and the mercies of God towards African people, towards black people. Mukiona Dr. Spice, Dr. Lewi, Dr. Kuria, Dr. Tabitha. Mkiwaona wakisimama hapa, it's the mercies of God towards us. Ati tunakutana, akina Kathomi, tunakutana tunajaribu to better our future and our generations, okay? So yes, nitarudi. Sawa sawa? Haya.
Thank you so much, Wairimu, for that knowledge. Yes, so whatever, the Constitution is there to serve us. It's not us to serve the Constitution, Sindio. So we've agreed on that. I think that is well answered, and I will not add so much into it. Dr. Kuria, there were 2 questions directed to you. The first one from Priscilla was about fibroids. What can be done so that the generation can get to 40 with their uterus? Somebody else asked the preparation for stinging nettle. How to prepare it? That was your question, right? How do we prepare it? Yes, that was another question directed towards you. So if you may want to answer these ones. Okay, thank you. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Another clap for Daktari Kuria.
Thank you very much. We are still going well.
I have 2 questions. So I put to me what it is for fibroids and preparation of stinging nettle. That is it, yeah? Okay. I will start with the second question because it's the simplest. Now, how can you prepare, or how to prepare stinging nettle? You can use stinging nettle in many ways. You can use it as tea, 1 teaspoonful, 1 glass of hot water, or 1 glass of milk. Okay? Now, you can use it as additive to what you are eating. And why I'm saying this, sometimes when you are preparing leaves, we tend to make them lose value because of overcooking. Now, let's come to stinging nettle, which has been used to make Mukuru. That one has been cooked to the last minute. Okay? So, the best way to take this is either with cold water,
a bit hot water, warm water, so that you can take it green the way it is. All right? That is the way. If you are going to use it as medicine, if you are going to use it to help your body, use it in that manner. Because destroying is very easy when you use too much heat. Sawa? Yes. Let me come to that of fibroids. Fibroids, to my experience, I would divide them 2 or 3 ways. 1, hereditary. Naweza kuwa kwenu watu wanaojeka hiyo kitu. Si ndio? Haya. Hiyo ni moja. Ile ingine, lifestyle. Lifestyle is the main cause of so many diseases we have now. Third one, trying to feed on taste, as the book of Back to Motherland states. Wengi wanaenda kutafuta sweet food. All right? Now, and when you are taking that sweet food, you are buying it from some shops. And that sweet thing, you don't know it. Sometimes, what we eat, we don't know that thing. And we don't know how it was prepared. Is it true? So, as the doctor has said here, let us do what we know it is best for us. don't hunt knowledge from someone who maybe even don't know what he is doing. All right? So, let's come to stinging nettle, plants. If you keep on plants, eating plants, especially vegetables, from our motherland say, it is very hard to get those problems. Let's come to the vegetables we have today. Okay? Today, we are buying spinach, sukuma wiki, kila kitu, intoxicated with sprays, intoxicated with a lot of dawas. I remember one time I was doing a bit of farming of Muchile. We have been given a very dangerous chemical called fildan. You have ever heard of fildan? Fildan is a very dangerous chemical. That one. And we use to plant Muchile with that thing. Imagine if you take that Muchile, which has been grown with that one, and you don't know how to treat it to neutralize that fildan, yourself you just go and eat it that way. Would you not be sick? You get sick. So, feeding is another dangerous thing. Now, for mom who was here, let me tell the younger generation. Younger generation, women, keep away from those sweet things, those things which are being sown. Eat kitu unajua ni fresh. Kitu unajua kimetoka kwa shamba. Sawa sawa. Usikule kila kitu unaona. Useme hata kile cucumber na uso pale unakwenda kukanyanga, I'll take this being low. It is cucumber. Cucumber is grown with a lot of chemicals. I come from where those boggers are being grown. Me, I cannot eat a cucumber because I know how it is being grown. So, try to keep away from those things which are being grown with chemicals. Because all these problems we have here, they are being created by those chemicals. Okay? Because if kama daktari amesema hapa, ati unasikia mtaalamu anasema hata hatujui fibroid zinatoka wapi. Si ndio kunaelezewa? Ati hakuna cause, we don't know where it comes from. And it is affecting people. It is affecting people, and those who are saying they don't know where it developed from is because they know what they are doing. All right? So, to young women, keep on greens, and especially greens which are not contaminated with this place. Okay? Keep on them. Ukienda nyumbani, kula madhoroko. Kula kila kitu. Hata waleo madhoroko kwetu naona inawekwa ndawa. Inafanywa spray, which is very bad. Okay? So, try to eat less chemicals, those farm chemicals. Try to eat less, if possible. Okay? Take this stinging nettle. Take this. Akina mama. Kula. Hata ukiwa wewe si mgonjwa. Kula. Kwenda kwa Dr. Spice. Ukute hiyo mwili. Nimekuta iko mingi kwa spice shops. Nunua mwili. Nunua iko kitu ingine, iko kama kasukari. Inaitwaje hiyo mti? Inaitwa sijui cinnamon. Yani cinnamon. Ile iko maganda naweka kwa chai. That one na mwili the same. They are of the same family, they are rosacea. So, what you want to get, what you can get from mwili, you get it from that one. Because that one is very easy to get. If you go to the spice shop, you will get it. Okay? That one we call cinnamon, is it? Yeah. That one, if you take cinnamon, you are taking mwiri, because it is of the same family. Same family, there is another one, raspberries. Ile tunaita vitu gani? Hii tunaita ile matunda, ile matunda kidogo. Ile tunaita berries, strawberry, ni strawberry. Hizo zote matunda hayo yote ya kukrip, hizo na ile ingine inaitwa nini? Listen to me. Ile inaitwa loquat. Tunaita mofuruti. Si unaona mofuruti? Ile iko tu matunda very sweet. Hiyo ni mwili tena. Hiyo ni family moja. Hizo zote nimeongea ni family moja. Kwa hivyo kile utapata kwa cinnamon, utapata kwa mwili, utapata kwa mandala hiyo, utapata kwa nini? Utapata kwa loquat. Okay? All those are losses. And another one, another plant which is always in the mtandao, inaitwa hawthorn. Munaweza kuiona hiyo? Ile wengi wanaandika hiyo inakuweka maisha yako yende miaka mingi, sababu inasafisha moyo vile daktari amesema. Hiyo naye ni cinnamon. Ni family moja na cinnamon. Kwa hivyo wale wanakula cinnamon, akina mama wadogo, sikilizeni hapa vizuri. Muwe mkinywa cinnamon mkiwa hamtaki kupata fibroids. Sawa? Na mkule hiyo naita stinging nettle. Hiyo tunaita thafai. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. The knowledge is indeed a lot in this place. Please allow me to get to the next phase. I know we have a lot of questions. Kila mwingine anataka, but because of time, allow me to bring on board our next keynote speaker. And I know we are heading over to the lounge, so we have to go this way. So I have a question. Why GMO? Why has it taken over? Why must, and I insist, why must us Africans resist GMO? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing on stage Mary Kathomi Riongo. She's a Kenyan agricultural advocate. She's a leadership expert and a political coordinator. She's the most prominently recognized for her work in food security and governance. She's the convener of Kilimo cha Haki Agricultural Justice, an organization dedicated to farmers' rights and food sovereignty. She's a vocal opponent of GMO adoption in Kenya. Instead, she's a vigilant advocate of traditional farming. She's a vigilant advocate of preservation of indigenous seeds and traditional farming methods. She has led the biggest anti-GMO process last year, advocating for indigenous seeds and organic foods. Ladies and gentlemen, with another standing ovation, please help me bring on stage Mary Kathomi Riongo. Thank you so much for having us. Yes, thank you so much for having you, and let us learn. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. I was expecting to speak in the afternoon, but it's okay, it's an afternoon. Si tusimame tujistretch kidogo tu ndio concentration ikue juu. Simama tujistretch kidogo. Maybe I'll just give you a small assignment. Get out of your table and say hi to someone in the next table, at least 5 people. Just say hi, get to know their names, like some 5 people.
Unstoppable.
kama hiyo talk imeshika sana. Ni kama imeshika. Imeshika. I like that. I like that. Give a hug to someone. Say hi to someone. Thank you. Thank you. Nitoka rege. Thank you so much. Sasa ni kama moshene imezidi. Kata sasa kata your story. Kata your story. Thank you so much. You can now have your seat. Thank you, Dr. Spice, I call this the call of God, honestly. I call what Dr. Spice is doing a divine call. Even for accepting to take that journey, I'm praying God to give you grace and a lot of blessings. To bring the family of Herbalists together, that is a call from God. Let me do some housekeeping, then I do away with the housekeeping, then I go to my topic. I'm Mary Kathomi from Meru. I'm born in a family of 12. I've never been vaccinated and I'm alive. My mother didn't believe in vaccinations. So my mother just was illiterate and she didn't understand why you should inject children. So in my life, the most caring, I think I can remember when I was like really sick, when I was very small, was measles. And I came from a poor family. So we were, in every description, I was born in a poor family. And I can remember when I was sick, I think I was really sick, was measles. And I was taken to hospital in Romuruti, Laikipia, where my late father used to have a business, and I was treated and I was well. I haven't had any scare of my life. I'm a mother of 3 children. I'm pretty old. This face should not lie to you. I know I get a lot of proposals from very young men. This face can lie, but I'm a mature woman. I'm 46, and I'm blessed with 3 children, and I'm happy for the gift of life. That is done with. Number 2, I know I'm supposed to be speaking about GMOs, but I want to connect GMOs with something. So I want you to really be alert to the things I'm going to say. If you're on your phone, I hope you're on your phone researching what I'm saying. I want you to be very keen. You're not going to get this information on Google. So be very keen on what I say so that when you go, you can continue the research. Okay? Tuko pamoja? This world that we live in is ran by 13 families. Okay? And I want you to go and do homework after that. We think we have governments. We think we will elect a president, but they are all puppets to the 13 families. This is not something of 100 years ago. This has been there since the 16th century. Because my topic is not this. I won't give you the 13 families. I want you to go do the research. One of them is called the Rockefeller family in America. But this family migrated from Europe. You know also America was colonized. Do you know that? Do you know America was? The original people that lived in America were called the Red Indians. The Red Indians look like the Aboriginals of Australia. Even Australia was colonized. Are we together? Even Australia was colonized. When America was being colonized, on that level of leadership was one of these families. I just mentioned, I'll concentrate on one, the Rockefeller family. Even as we speak today, they own most of the patents of oil exploration or oil machineries. They control petroleum. In those days, these companies keep changing names. It was the Standard Oil. So mkisikia mafuta imepatikana Turkana, mafuta imepatikana Nigeria, this family has something to do with it until when? Today. Okay. Let me step aside from that. When you're controlling oil, you're controlling every aspect of life. Do you know that? Because it's movement. It's energy. When they became very wealthy, extremely wealthy, they realized they needed to control health. So the byproducts of petroleum in terms of when you have crude oil, when it's refined, there are so many products. They took some of the byproducts of petroleum. That is what is used in all medication. In all what? Are we together? Every single medication, even the aspirin you're taking, even the Panadol you're taking, there is a synthetic component of a petroleum byproduct. Are we together? I'll go to GMO right now. When they did that, they needed to do what we call standardization of health. That's a polite name. They use very polite names. It's a polite name of taking over health. So what did they do? They went to the universities to do standardization. When they went to do standardization, neuropathy was removed from health. Herbs was classified like what you're calling witchcraft. Why? Because every single medication you're taking is a patent. It's owned by someone. Iyo Panadol umekunywa, kuna mtu akona rent. Okay, I know landlords are here. My sweet lady, are you the owner of the building? You're a landlord or something. You're the what? Influencer. You're an influencer. I literally thought this is your building. You know, I don't joke with Kikuyus. So when you're a landlord, what do you expect at the end of the month? Rent. So when you have a patent, what do you expect when your product is sold? You're expecting rent. You're expecting rent. Call it that way. When you have a patent, what do you expect? You expect what? So on all the medication that we take, someone is receiving? Someone is receiving what? Because they own the patent. I want by the easy view to ata Google itakupea. So if you're going to research from Google, wachana na Google. Okay, so health was standardized from the level of universities in America. Remember, it is in the 18th century. Africa has not been colonized yet. The explorers are coming to Africa to do colonization. Sasa ndio sasa my explorers walikuwa wanakuja wanasema we've discovered a Lake Victoria. Ni kama Lake Victoria ilikuwa na jina. Si ilikuwa na jina? We've discovered black people. They discovered us. No, they didn't. So explorers were actually coming to mapping out this continent. And this story I'm telling you, it's happening in America in the 18th century, the 17th and the 18th. Before the white man came here, we had the Arabs. Arabs were trading with the Africans, but even the Arabs came and did a lot of slave trade here. Okay? So vile Waarabu walienda, now the white man came. They came in the name of an explorer. They also came in the name of our missionary. Ndio walituletea kanisa. I'm sorry, but how ndio walituletea kanisa? I don't want to lose myself. So, health has been standardized from the university level. So, across the world, the curriculums of even medical schools, zimetoka wapi? Hata ile mnasoma hapa ite Dr. Lewis amesoma. Imetoka wapi? A standardized curriculum. So when they standardized, they demonized neuropathic treatment, they demonized herbal medication. Have you ever been taught in school, primary school, high school, college, have you ever been taught about nutrition as a healing method or a prevention? Kuna mtu ashaifunzwa? No one will teach you that, because that knowledge is supposed to be hidden. That is what they call standardization. Okay. I hope uliandika jina hiyo family, ukienda nyumbani, more research. So now, This is what we've inherited. They came, they colonized us. We inherited their healing education. We inherited their medication. That's why we have big companies. I'm not going to mention them here, but you know them. Si mnajua zile kampuni zinatengeneza madawa. Zote by the way si za watu wengi. Hawezi jaa kwa hii mkono worldwide. Wale watu wote wanatengeneza madawa. Hawezi jaa kwa hii mkono. The companies can change names. They can be hidden in subsidies and subsidies, but they still remain very few companies. We call them the big pharma. So when you're treated with that medication, you're not treated to heal. You're treated to manage. That's when you start taking medication, most likely awachangi. Kuna mtu akianza kukunywa painkiller na sasa kichwa inanuma nipe painkiller. Anazoea? You are not meant to leave that medication. Okay. We've talked about patents. All this medicine is patented. And on another research, go and research patents on medicine. Ujue hizi dawa ni za nani? Hii panado inakuanga ya nani? Na inakaa kama science ngumu si ngumu. There's a lot of numbers, companies owning it, but all this medicine is patented. It belongs to someone. Okay, now let's bring it down. They gave us the education system. They also control what we learn. So basically, even a doctor is teaching or is learning to treat using what was taught from the Rockefeller standardized health system. They've taken over health. They've taken over energy, and they've taken over health. Hizo mbili shikilia. Now, I'm supposed to be speaking about GMOs. And most people do not know the difference between GMOs and hybrid. Na sijui tuko na wakulima wangapi hapa. Nani mkulima? Mimi ni mkulima. Thank you. We are few, so we want to tell you what is an hybrid. We have CARO, KALRO. That's a government agency that is mandated on research of seeds. Si ndio? Ndio mnaona ukienda kununua mbegu unaona imeandika Simlo. Unaweza ona ingine imeandika hizo kampuni tu za mbegu. But zote lazima zipita wapi? CARO. Hybrid, anyone can do a hybrid. Mother, si nikikata mti ya machungwa nishikanisha na mti ya ndimu, itanipea kitu. Itanipea mbegu fulani. So you can actually do hybrid yourself. It's like you propagate. You want to improve. Those are called hybrids. They can be done in the farm. They can be done in the lab. Unaelewa? You crossbreed the way you want. Ni kama nikiona wewe uko na ndume mzuri ya ng'ombe, sina kujanga naomba ndume yako. Ndio ikuje ipande ng'ombe ya. Ile ndama itazaliwa is of a higher breed. Hybrids. Those are called hybrids. But on the seed level, zinafanywa na CARO. Ndio inafanya. That is very different from GMO. GMO means genetically modified organisms. I'll need someone to help me with some, at the herbal shop of Dr. Spice. Bring me any herb. You can bring me an hibiscus. Someone go bring me hibiscus. And if you have the hibiscus flower, ile ijasiagwa nileteni hibiscus flower ile ijasiagwa na ile hibiscus iko kwa mkebe. I want to explain to you something. Genetically modified organisms inaenda kwa mbegu, the DNA, the mode. Okay? Let me come near home. And forgive me, I'm not going to be vulgar, but mwanaume amebeba nini? Mwanaume amebeba nini? Na aliambiwa atembee afanye nini? Martha amesema. It is called a seed. Na ile mbegu Mungu ameimwaga dunia mzima. Si ya mwanaume peke yake, pia mbegu ya mmea. It's called fauna. This is the flora, the animals, us, and this is the fauna. Mbegu are given in nature. Okay? Anything that occurs in nature cannot be patented. Shika hiyo vizuri. Anything that occurs in nature cannot be what? Like, no one can patent hibiscus. Sababu it grows in. Lakini ule mzungu alichukua, I'm giving an example. Alichukua ile hibiscus, akatwik kidogo, akabadilisha hibiscus. Akatengeneza another product out of the hibiscus, akatengeneza hibiscus sasa ya tuseme akabadilisha jina, badala kuita hibiscus akaiita maybe purple hibiscus, akapatent. Thank you. I want to show an example so that they understand. Thank you. This is hibiscus. Sawa. This is actually a flower, but it doesn't belong to Dr. Spice. It belongs to nature. So hata wewe unaweza upande hibiscus yako na usiage na uuze, because it occurs in nature naturally. You can't patent this. But mzungu vile anafanya, anachukua hii, anapeleka kwa lab, anaingia kwa genome, the DNA of the hibiscus, ana change. Then ana own. Akisha own, it's registered under him. Mtu yoyote atatumia product, hata ukilima, anaweza kuja akushike kupeleke kotini, you violated my copyright. Hii ni copyright ya? Ni kama tu vile mtu ameimba wimbo yake ameregister copyright. Are you getting my point? So you also have copyright on products like this, which is what we call patents. Aya, we were talking about GMO. So unaweza angalia hivi binadamu, unaona binadamu anakaa mweusi, nataka akae pink. Wacha niende nichukue ile mbegu nipeleke wapi? Kwa lab. Nitaibadilisha ile mbegu, hata sitaki mikono mbili. Tunaweza ongeza zikuwe mikono ngapi? Anatengeneza mbegu yake out of a human seed in the lab. That's what we call GMO. They are changing the genome. So that's the GMO, which is very different from an hybrid. Now, GMOs, by the way, the GMO was started in America. The technology was started, I think, in 1978. I can't remember there, in America, by a scientist in America. It doesn't come from any other country. And when it was started in America, they went to food. And I'm going to talk about maize. Sawa sawa. Now, there is a big push to make sure every African country is consuming GMO. Na nakwambia wamemwaga pesa. Jana nilikuwa Kisumu kesi ya GMO. Nakwambia watu wako na pesa. Si shilingi 2. Ile pesa imemwagwa hii Kenya kupush GMO. I won't mention the organizations, but those organizations are there. Okay? I didn't carry my phone here. So someone, you tap me at 2:20. Someone just show me 2:20 Kifik. I don't have a phone here. We talked about GMO. We talked about the push and the money in the GMO. So assuming a seed producing company, tuseme kama Simlo, sindio? Wana produce mbegu ya GMO. Mkulima akipanda ile mbegu, mmea imea itoe mahindi. Uwezi rudia ile mahindi kwa shamba, uwezi ipanda. Lazima urudi kwa That is making the Kenyan farmer a perpetual slave. Sasa ile kazi madhajenga unafanyanga ya seed propagation utafanya. Utafanya sababu hata zile mbegu zako za kiasili zile unanini, they'll be affected by the GMO. Let me give you a bit of history about GMO in Africa. GMO, when I say BT, means GMO. BT cotton was the GMO seed that was introduced in Kenya 10 years ago in the Nyanza region and the western region to increase production of cotton. Wakasema, wacha tulete hii BT cotton sababu cotton haikulwi na binadamu. So it was supposed to increase production of cotton in Nyanza region. So wakasema mbegu ya GMO ndio Munanisikiza? It's now more than 10 years. The western region ikiendelea kupanda GMO. The companies that they do what? The companies that process cotton, zile nyingi zilikuwa Nyanza hata zimefungwa. Why? Production ilikuja hivi alafu ikarudi kafanya nini? It went up and then it went down. The argument that production is increased is a lie. Because we already have examples. We have Kenya. Our government has allowed GMOs in 2023 through a cabinet sitting. It was allowed. So GMOs are legal in Kenya as we are speaking. Uhuru's 10 years didn't allow GMO. There was still a push to have GMOs. Kibaki's 10 years, there was a big push to allow GMOs in Kenya. But Kibaki sent out a commission. Tunajua zile commission za serikali. Ikazunguka Kenya mzima. Wakenya wakasema hawataki nini? Hawataki GMO. But our current administration allowed GMO. So what is happening right now? Hata kama ulimi, I'm sure your parent analima. Kuna kitu inaitwa, andika kwa karatasi urudi research. Kenya Biosafety Agency. Kenya Biosafety Agency is the government agency under Ministry of Agriculture that is mandated on research. So as we are speaking, wametoa mbegu mbili za GMO, cassava and sweet potato. So saa hizi watu wanapanda GMO ya cassava. Unajua wanazirelease tu kwa market. Wanarelease. Wakasema hizo ni tuber. Tuber ni ile kitu inamea kwa mchanga. There is a court case that farmers in Nyahururu went to sue against GMO. Tukashindwa. It's been appealed. It's at the High Court. There's a second case that is running right now. I was in Kisumu yesterday because we have a hearing for that case. Actually, it was cross-examination of the government scientists. We are seeking to ban GMO maize. Because mahindi ikimea, ile itakuwa ati kwa Kimeru tunaita sabai, hii inakuanga hapa juu ile iko na pollen. Pollen, thank you. But pollen is on that, you know, kale kakitu kanakwanga pale juu ya mahindi. The pollen of maize can be transported for more than 40 kilometers na upepo. So kama mimi nimepanda GMO, ile upepo ikuje ibebe ile pollen, sitaenda ifertilize shamba ya mtu mwingine. So ule mtu alikuwa na indigenous maize, itakuwa cross pollinated na GMO. Na unajua ikikuwa cross pollinated na GMO, mwenye ile shamba ya GMO anaweza kukupeleka kotini. Yeye anaweza kukupeleka kotini. Anaweza enda aseme au kununua mbegu, you have no rights. Tumeona maana ya rights. But sasa si wewe, ni upepo ilibe. That's a challenge. That's a legal challenge that we have. We are seeking to ban GMOs in Kenya. We are not going to give up. We will keep trying. It's hard. Because already serikali ndio imetupeana. Sasa imagine we are fighting against what the government is pushing. They never did public participation. So Kenyans never consented to allowing GMOs in this country. How many countries in Africa? South Africa has been planting GMOs for the longest time ever. But remember the South African agricultural industry is dominated na wazungu. Mnajua hivyo? Wazungu ndo wanalima South Africa. Last year, South Africans went to court after farming GMOs, after eating GMOs, and South Africans have proved in a court of law that GMOs are affecting their health. So the Supreme Court of South Africa ban GMO. So in South Africa now, legally it's been banned. Of course, when they say banned, there's a process of appeal. There's a process of years of implementation of the court orders. Hizo vitu zote ziko. Ethiopia has allowed BT cotton. I am not sure if they've allowed any other GMO. But what is the question about GMO? GMO is made in the lab. Do you know you can engineer maize to kill a male black male? Engineer it in the lab. Like akikula hiyo chakula, it can directly target a male. We have science papers on that. It can target a particular race in the lab. We can target even a black race, and because everything is per the DNA. So we are taking what God gave us for free, handing it to the person who is actually supposed to kill us. But many people try to understand. I think kwa akili mtu anauliza kwa nini sasa wanataka kutuua? Hiyo kitu sumbua watu sana. Kwa nini sasa wanatengeneza GMO watuue? You try to understand akili na kata? Kwa nini? Let me answer that question. Number one, they are bringing in what we call food colonization. And you know, food colonization will be worse than ile colonization ya mbeberu. You know, you can take the money, but don't touch the food. Unajua hata kama una pesa, unaweza pewa chakula kwa barabara huku. But when you take over food, then you've taken over a population. Every farmer that is going to farm in this country will be paying rent for the seeds. Ile rent tumesema. In the African culture, sisi tunaombananga mbegu. Si ni kweli? Nakuja kwako, na unajua wewe ukiharvest, unaangalianga ile mahindi mzuri kabisa. Ile unaweka kwa ikombe. Ile mbegu for the next season. I'll come home and then I'll tell you, nipe mbegu kido. That's our culture. So now, when our indigenous seeds are at risk, tutaombana mbegu? Atutaweza kuombana mbegu. So I hope you may understand GMO. Number two, there is a law that was passed in the Kenyan parliament in the administration of Uhuru Kenyatta. It was called Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act. Iandike, utaenda uyangalie. Seeds, Plant and Varieties Act. That law was criminalizing sharing of seeds. The victory we had. So it means, munaona wale watu wanauza miti kwa barabara? Wale wanauza mango seedlings, pawpaw. You cannot even sell those seedlings kwa barabara. You needed a license of like 200,000. Kupropagate mbegu, yani kwangu nyumbani ni propagate mbegu yangu. Nichukue mbegu za avocado. Si unajua mbegu za avocado? Nizieke kwa maji kwa mchanga, zikianza kumea, si mtu anakanga wa karatasi. You can sell them. That law was criminalizing propagation even of seedlings. Greenpeace Africa, together with the Kenya Seed Savers, jointly went to court. And we had a very good victory. We won that case. So the High Court in Machakos declared, Seeds, Plants and Varieties Act is unconstitutional. That's a victory. So don't give up on the judiciary. Don't give up on the judiciary. The judiciary can save the day sometimes. Don't give up. Usiseme, wamenunuliwa wote. Achana tu. You know, like you've accepted your suffering. We won that case. Again, and that, they said that act of parliament is null and void as to the constitution. Because the constitution protects indigenous seeds, and the constitution is our supreme law. So the act was declared null and void. I brought this nini here because I wanted to show you. Let me just touch one, allow me. I hope I get a bigger one. This is the hibiscus. This is a flower. Can everyone farm hibiscus flower? Can everyone farm? Can you actually do this in your farm? This is a flower. Because herbalists are selling this. Kwa nini wajashikwa? Can someone lift up their hand and tell me? Kwa nini herbalists wajashikwa? Do you know why wajashikwa sababu ya kupanda hii maua ama kuuza? Someone, just tell me. I want someone to shout somewhere. Why no one has been arrested because they plant this and they use this? Can I tell you why? Because this occurs in nature. This is nature. This is what? You cannot own a patent on this. You can't own a patent of anything that occurs in nature. So anyone can plant it. This is hibiscus that has been grounded. And I'm sure this is not a patent of Dr. Spice. This occurs in nature. And this is what we need to protect. Because this is natural. Okay? So I have painted for you the picture of this country. But as I wind up, what's the time? To what? 2:30. My time is gone. Okay. Let me tell you something. We are living in very unpredictable days. In your heads, I'm sure kwa akili yako, the government is supposed to protect you. Si ni kweli? Si kila mtu anasemanga hiyo ni ya serikali, mpaka walikuwa wanasema serikali saidia maji kuja serikali. Everyone has this natural inclination that the government is going to protect you. Si ni kweli? But now, let me give you this news. The government is not going to protect you. It is the government that is going to sell you. So you must, that's why I really admire the work that Dr. Spice does. Because I remember I did a video on TikTok that went viral about, there's an English word that I used. Self-preservation as a people. We must be able to do self-preservation as a people. Uko chama ngapi, mami? Uko chama ngapi? 3. Are you in a men's organization? Any? Which one? Any? Kiama. Every human being exists within a society. Ukweli, mpaka tuko na Mercedes Benz Club. Kuna watu wako kwa club za magari, wengine wako za chama. Everyone is identifying with a particular group of people. Whatever the group that you identify with, you must start practicing self-preservation as a people. You must start protecting yourself. Don't walk alone. You can't, in the days we are going to, you cannot walk alone. So Herbalists, you come together. I'm really praying that we can get pro bono lawyers. You know, this fight is not going to get easier. It's going to get worse as we go ahead. So brace yourselves. We need pro bono lawyers. We need to look for members of parliament to sponsor bills to protect herbalists. We protect ourselves in the courts of law, we protect ourselves in parliament, and we protect ourselves in the field. Self-preservation as a people, we must practice. Finally, as I go to sit, nani akona kashamba ushago? Ama some rural place, plot? Okay, shamba. Sit town, kashamba. Please, I want to see your hand if it's up. Nani akona kashamba? Hata kama ni mzazi amekukatia, umeinherit. Si lazima ukuwe umenunua. I want to see your hands. I want to see your hand. Hata kama umekatiwa na mzazi, uko na kashamba. Thank you. What are you doing on that piece of land? Are you doing something? Are you doing something? Are you doing something? Let me take it further. Nani akona chago? Chago. Hata kama ni ya mabati, hata kama ni ya matope. Nani akona nyumba ushago? Put your hands down. Thank you. In the near, from now, 2026, the next 4 years, urban life is going to become very hard. Urban life is going to become, jengeni ushago. Mfanye nini? Unajua watu naongeanga watu wanasema, akimeri, kwa nini unasema hivi? Mfanye nini? Panda herbal tree. By the way, let me tell you, there is nothing that grows easily like herbs. Mimi kwangu mpaka kwa mlango chini, dandolo ninamea peke yake. Is it true, Dr. Spice? Herbs grow very easily. Nilisikia mpaka kuna herbalist, kuna watu wanapanda herbs kwa greenhouses, like, oh Jesus Christ. Why would you plant herbs in a greenhouse? It is wrong. Herbs don't even need water, they don't need fertilizer, they are growing. Mimi stinging neto, kwangu inakimbishananga hivi ni kama imetumwa. Sasa naenda saa hizi kuikatakata niende ni blend ni kunywe. Unaelewa? I have told you guys, build something in the rural area. If you don't have a house from now, enda ujenge kanyumba. Eka ka solar panel. Solar panel wachana na Kenya Power. Enda weke ka solar panel. Ile taa tu iweze kuwaka, unaweza charge simu. Sink a borehole, ama hii ingine inachimbwa na watu na mikono inaitwaje well. To have a constant supply of water, have a borehole. But it's not expensive. It's not expensive. Buy a submersive machine, ile mtu anaeka huko kwa maji. By the way, I don't know, I'm in Kiambu County, but me when I did mine, I didn't spend more than 250,000. Niliingia ndani 98, is it feet or meters? Maji ilikuwa nyingi. Nikanunua mashine ya 50k, waya ya stima ndio ilikuwa na bei kali. Ile waya ya sasa na pump maji, hiyo ndio maji natumia kwa nyumba, napea ng'ombe ama naeka kwa shamba. Let me tell you, water is going to become a very valuable thing in the near future. Get your own source of? In America, they poison water. America water is poisoned. Because in America, you have no authority to have your own. Do you know in America, it is a crime to tap rainwater? Check. It is a crime to tap rainwater. The best water to drink is actually, it has minerals, it has what? I'm giving you tips. So kama uko na biashara Nairobi, imeandikwa Nairobi, badala kwenda rave, ka weekend kimbia wapi? Ushago. Umepanda avocado yako, umepanda mwarobaine, anza kutengeneza nyumba? Anza kutengeneza nyumbani. I'm encouraging people to plant herbs. Just plant herbs. Eka mbuzi mbili kama zile za mother. Mother za mother si mbili, ni nyingi. Eka mbuzi ndio upate dhumu. Manure. Then you are going to avoid the spraying. So as I wind up, I've given you the state of GMO. It's a bad thing. It is a bad thing. They are saying they are giving us GMOs because they want us to be food secure. Wanasema food production Kenya iko mbaya, tulete GMO ndio food production ifanye nini? Jana nilikuwa kotini na kuambia serikali imekuwa pande ile yote. Mimi niliona serikali kwa macho. Si hivi. Wadosi. Na mimi nimekaa pande hii na t-shirt ya GMO. Moja kaniita kaniuliza, Mary, why are you refusing us to do GMO? Nikamwambia, you're taking what God gave us and you're handing it to one person. One person to control seed. Akacheka. Atuku, hiyo conversation haikuendelea. Na ninakwambia ile pesa imemwagwa. So mkiona hata tukichapwa, mjue ni ile pesa inatucha. But you have to be like the Mau Mau. You have to fight. And you as consumers, what kind of food are you buying? Munaendanga supermarket wapi? Wachana na maneno ya kwenda ma supermarket kubwa kubwa. Enda ununulie mama mboga. Cause ule mama mboga anajua mahali ile chakula imetoka. Uenda tu mwambie mimi nataka mboga haijaekwa dawa, atakwambia usichukue hii, nitakuonyesha ile organic. When we support the economy from the mama mboga level, we stop consuming from here, we support this economy huku chini. Okay? So the things that I would encourage you, there's a lot of importation in the country. By the way, mahindi nyingi inakuja Kenya, wacha niwaambie ukweli, ni ya GMO. Ile mahindi inaingianga Kenya, si ile imelimwa, ile inaimportiwa, it's GMO. So that's why we need to do a lot of detoxing, because already tunakula GMO. We need to do a lot of detoxing because we cannot control the foods we are eating. Anzeni kukula wimbi, anzeni kukula cassava flour, millet, izile chakula zetu za kiasiri. And let's do a lot of detoxes. We will keep fighting and we can't give up. Because kama uko na watoto, na mimi niko na watoto, miaka yetu imesonga. Tutachia nini watoto? So we have to do what? We have to keep fighting. And knowledge is power. Take that knowledge and run with it. Say no to GMO. Hata ukienda kununua vitu mbili, mahindi na ugangano. A lot of wheat is GMO in Kenya. All the wheat coming to Kenya. So mkisikia mkiambiwa mwache kukula a lot of wheat products, ni sababu ile wheat already ni GMO. Haijapandwa hapa. Imetoka nje. And you know we do not have, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, they don't even check. Importation in a happen. How do we take care of that? We do a lot of detoxing. But I'm hoping we can get pro bono lawyers, and I know we can pull 3 lawyers together to come and protect what we have. For example, do you know we can actually patent Kikuyu language? Let me give you mzungu ni mjanja. Unaona ile shuka tunabebanga nayo mtoto, itakuwa atia ile kwa Kimeru ile leso ya kuweka mtoto mgongo. Goi. There's names, every African community walikuwa nabeba mtoto na shuka. Mzungu akaenda akabadilisha hiyo shuka kidogo, akaweka kamfuko hapa na shuka ikafungiwa nyuma. They patented it. So it belongs to Kikoi, which is an African art. They took it to Japan, and they patent. So we need legal opinion on how to patent our culture. We patent our culture. We patent our language. We patent what belongs to, because I am very sure they live and steal our languages. I'm just giving an example. So we need legal volunteers. We can get a way of sponsoring and patent what belongs to us. But let me tell you something, the future is bright. The future is not a single day in my life, I imagine we would be sitting discussing herbs. And today we are seated discussing. The future is very bright. Detox a lot, eat right, we are headed in the right direction. Thank you so much.
That's so amazing. I think Herbalist, you need guys to organize a conference for us. This is not just enough. It is so much knowledge we thought we knew. Tukishakula sukuma wiki na spinach. Thank you so much. This lady, we will be your behind activists. Kama kuna signatures zinahitajika za kwenda high court, tuko huko, si ndio? Na nyinyi wengine mngeketu huku ni lawyers. Please can you be pro bono for now? Pro bono ni kumaanisha nini? Yo, bora ukue pro bono, free of charge lawyer for us, and that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. My dad have a very big land. Hey, wacha tu. Wacha. Let me do what I'm supposed to do because I'm not a key speaker. So, just a brief announcement. The water is here. There is pure water. The other one is, yes, maji imefika. Ukienda pale kwa desk yetu, you want some water, you'll be told. We have variety at Dr. Spice Organic. The water is not just water. There is categories. There is, yes, please. There is yogurt with cayenne, and then pure yogurt. If you want to take a piece, take a glass of it, and you enjoy as we are continuing, please do it. You have not waited. The answer of all those things that are being spoken here is this thing you're seeing here. This one, this is a great giant in this globe, not just in Kenya, not just in Africa. So I'm going within the next 10 or 15 minutes to bring another very vital lady here. She's a Kenyan content creator. She's a cultural educator. She's a former journalist, widely recognized for her advocacy for Kikuyu culture and African spirituality. You'll see even her dressing code. Utajua hii ni Africa, hii ni Kikuyu. She transitioned from her career in journalism. She resigned journalism career to focus on teaching the Kikuyu language. Onande mo Kikuyu, mo Kristo. And debunking myths surrounding traditional African heritage. She's a vocal advocate for pre-colonial spirituality, distinguishing it from misconceptions of witchcraft, she mentioned, and explaining for ancestral views of God differ from modern religious frameworks. Ladies and gentlemen, having graced this day, please with a standing ovation, help me bring on stage Wairimu Mukuru. Please put your hands together for one and oh my goodness, this is a traditional lady. Please, majestically, just walk majestically. Usikibie pole pole. Please turn around. A clap for her. Thank you so much. Karibu sana.
Na kuanga na shida ya attention span kidogo, so sitawakalisha, si ndio? Nataka kuongelelea why I tell people to go back to their culture, okay? So culture, we record history through naming systems and also through a Rika system. A Rika system is when boys get circumcised, they get an age set or an age group, okay? But those age groups, they actually show the history of what has been happening to us. Now, this is why I'm bringing you to the Rika system. We've been fighting biological wars. Tumekuwa tukipigwa. From the time mzungu aliingia huku Afrika, tumekuwa tukipigwa. It's God's mercies that you and me tuko hapa leo. Juu tumechapwa, diseases, hizi mambo za hata GMO. We've been having locusts, gige. We have a Rika system called gige that reminds us, oh, once upon a time, locusts were sent to destroy our plants, okay? But there is a disease that was once sent to us that almost killed us. It was called motongo. Si mnajua jina dongo? Dongo ilitoka hapo. So, motongo is smallpox. Now, situkaletewa, it was brought through our clothes. Haya. Watu wakakufa. Our healers, they were very scared. But then they were great observers, okay? So they noticed that the people who were strong enough, who weren't dying, walikuwa wanafika mahali, inawapiga, and then wanaanza kupona. So hao wenye walianza kupona, the pimples, hizo, the arrow would take that pass, wanachukua hiyo pass, wana-inject na miba, wanaiweka kwa leaf. Wakiweka kwa leaf, wanaanza kuinject watu wenye hawajagonjeka. And at that time, that became a vaccination. That is why we have the name Jajo vaccination, okay? Haya. They also noticed that when you get sick, they have to put you keherine aside, okay? So they had built huts whereby the people who are sick walikuwa wanawekwa. Wanapelekewa food inawekwa at a distance, so wasi contaminate hawa wengine, sawa? So hata before COVID, hata before hii mambo ya isolation, si hiyo ni isolation. So what are you telling me that my ancestors did not know anything? They knew. Let us look at a tribe called the Dogon tribe in West Africa. Actually, they are in Central Africa. The Dogon tribe, they are able to draw our Milky Way. Wakichora 2 circles, zikiwa na balls 2, hiyo ni Saturn. In fact, 2 French anthropologists walienda kukaa na hiyo tribe so that they could know the information. How did these people know about our star systems, okay? They would also be able to learn about a star called Sirius B that had not yet been haikuwa imediscoveriwa na wazungu. So when we look down on the knowledge of our ancestors, how do you expect tutasonga mbele? You have to look backwards for you to know where you are going. Hata ukienda hospitali, daktari huwa anakuuliza, what is your family history? Family medical history. Unaanza kukumbuka auntie nani alikufa juu ya cancer. Unaanza kushtuka. But what is that doctor telling you? You have to go back and see what has been happening within my family or with those who are before me, okay? So now that is why when I started to think about my future and the generation that I'm going to bring, I realized I had to go back. And sometimes we must face the hard truths that are sometimes not liked. And I have had to be a critical conscious to my own people. And I get sometimes a lot of hate because sometimes I'll ask, hizi wigs tuliletewa? And you know, like we like wigs, we like beautiful. Hii makeup tuliletewa? Watu wanakasirika. Hii dini tuliletewa? But we must be able to critique these things because that is the only way we will move forward. Now, this is a matter of life and death. And people are always like, Wairimu, people are dying all the time. But mi siongelelai ati hii death ya kukufa kila siku. I mean extinction. Do you want black people to end? Do you know how beautiful we are? Look around this room. Look at yourselves. God created us in such beauty, in such artistry, in such, I've never seen such creativity. Look at our hairs, our eyes, our skin. Do you want all this goodness to end? No. So when I say this is a matter of life and death, I mean we must fight that we don't get extincted. Haya, nidalia uhoro wa African heritage. Nimesema sikai. Twende kwa how restoring African cultures within our homes. The first thing that was destroyed is our family units. For me, I have wonderful nephews and nieces. And sometimes, I think maybe sometimes they see me as the crazy auntie. Because every night, nawaambianga, tokeni nje twende tukasalimie mwezi, greet the moon. But when I'm telling them that, I am teaching them to look at the faces of the moon and the stars. Because the moon tells us about our days, while the sun teaches us the time. Let me tell you, hizi simu zikipotea, ama ukute like there's a whole technological off thing that has gone, hakuna tena kutumia simu, si tutarudi kuangalianga mwezi na jua. So I have to teach them to be independent, okay? I have to teach them to look at their surroundings. So every Saturday, I sit down. I start to tell them about the Gikuyu history. And you know what I tell them? Stories about the giants. Na wanakanga wakiwa wameshtuka. Nawaambia, long ago, we had giants. Nyakiodo, Marimoma Nyakiodo, the giants that were carrying chondos. And that was technology. And I tell them, they would take people and put them in the chondos. And then, hawakuwa, hizo chondo hazikuwa zina feel. That's a technology. And then I tell them, so whenever you see somebody and you realize this person has weird behavior, si ati unaongeleshea kila mtu, utakuta huyo mtu hana utu. So protect yourselves, okay? So I keep trying to tell them those things. They are very, very important. I teach them about the herbs. Me, I'm not leaving my little ones ati wajue ati I am leaving them to teachers. I am leaving them to the religious, even to the cultural leaders ati ndio watawafunza. No, take responsibility, teach your own child, okay? That is how you bring back the family unit. Hizi mambo ya herbs, tell them, kama wanajuanga wakipata sore throat, wananiambianga ile mafuta inaitwa black seed oil. Nasikia sore throat, ebu nipe hiyo black seed oil. They know. Because we need to build an empowered generation. We need to teach our children as young as they are. Si Kathomi amesema school systems zetu hazifunzangi watoto kulima, to be self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency is very important. Critical thinking. Those are very important things. And culture gives you identity, okay? It makes you stand out. It has so much art, so much beauty in it. So, mimi sikuwa niwakalishe sana. I just had that short presentation. But before I finish, I would like all these things that I have learned, I learned from teachers and I learned from books. But I would just like one of my teachers to come say hi to you. Karaoke, oko magaidhie. Give him a clap. He's the one who's taught me so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I was not expecting to be invited here, but I'm happy that I'm here. I'm not very used to speaking in English. See, I can talk Gikuyu. You've said no. Okay, Daktari, you said you are Mushiri. Oh, sio Mushiri? Okay, my name is Kariuki. Navini Mwalimu, as she has said. We learn a lot of Gikuyu with her. And I'm happy today I found my daddy. I always hear about him, but I've never seen him. But today I'm very happy. Just a question to carry on what Wairimu was talking about. Dr. Spice. What would you call Dr. Spice in another language? Doctor who? Si umwite na lugha yako. Daktari. Unaweza mwita aje? Unasikia venye amesema? Ati anaweza mwita mundu mulosi. Sio mimi nimesema, ni yeye. You see, the thing is we got to love ourselves, okay? Lazima tujipende ndio tu kale kakitu tunasema where is the yule jamaa MC ako wapi? Alikuwa anaogopa witchcraft. Witchcraft inakuanga nini? Simply witchcraft ni ile kitu ile huelewi. When it's African spirituality and you don't understand it, it becomes what? It becomes witchcraft. Sikuwa ni same speak. Just one thing, Wairimu. I'm a cultural researcher, and I like dwelling on names. That's why I say I had Muchile. Muchile is so close to Muchile. Dr. Spicewood fits a name. Have you ever heard of Waithaka? Waithaka is a collector. The collector of herbs. The collector of herbs who goes very deep into the forest. He fits very well as who? As Waithaka. Dr. Spice can also be Wairimu. Wairimu collects the herbs at the very low grounds, okay? He may also be Hidaiga. You've heard of a place known as Mudaiga. The place of herbs, the place where we can correct herbs. Finally, Ryungu, I've heard you doing some very good work. We have a problem. Muratina has been patented by someone. Does someone has a kiondo here? Kiondo has also been patented. I don't know. You said pro bono is what animal?
Lawyers giving service without expecting a payment. It's free of charge.
I think we read that.
Yeah, we do. We really do. Thank you so much, guys. Asanteni.
Thank you so much. Let's give a bigger round of applause for Wairimu Mukuru. A bigger one, a bigger one, a bigger one, a bigger one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.